Good morning, here we are again. I'm Helen and this is Think Differently Thursday. And as always, I'm really excited about the guest that I've got with me today. Today I've got Mr. Martin Cobbold. Hello, Martin.
Hello, how are you?
I'm really good, thank you. And you?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, enjoying the sunny weather.
I know. Oh, priceless. Absolutely love it. Imagine
It's
if we'd been in
priceless at
this
the minute.
time and it had been like cold and wet.
I know. Yeah, I've thought that a lot.
That
And
would have
I
been
would struggle
awful.
because there's no sport on to distract me anyway. So, yeah.
So Martin, I know you, I know who you are, but not everybody listening to this will do. Do you want to just introduce yourself a little bit and your family maybe?
Yeah, so, yeah, as Helen says, I'm Martin. I'm married to Sarah. We've been married 7 years this year, and we have a 2-year-old daughter called Emily. Normally I still am, but I'm a teacher at a secondary school, so at Debenham High, so obviously where one of our locations for the Forge is. And I'm also one of our elders at the church, which I'm sure we'll get on speaking what that might be like. But I also do a little bit of speaking and hosting around church as well. So yeah, that's basically me.
That's great. Is that your playhouse behind you?
Yeah, just to keep me entertained. Yeah, we said we bought it for Emily's birthday a month ago, but yeah, really it's just mine. So yeah,
It looks pretty cool. Oh,
it is cool.
nice.
I can't
Lovely.
take any credit for it because Sarah bought it from a car boot, so it's very good.
Lovely. So what's lockdown looking like for you then in the Cobbold household? How is it?
Yeah, it's like you got to put the positives on things, I think. So I'm loving the fact that I've been able to spend so much time at home with the two significant females in my life, obviously Sarah and Emily. But also there's the challenges of trying to teach from home, also trying to parent and trying to husband well, and trying to put some fun stuff in, but also some structure to keep it a bit normal. But actually it's been quite enjoyable in lots of ways.
Yeah, lots of people have said that about needing structure and routine. I think maybe in those first few days it felt like this is amazing, or for some people super stressful, I think. But yeah, routine I think is pretty important, isn't it? Getting up, getting dressed, getting on with the day. You said you're a teacher, so much like myself, but you're a secondary teacher. So what's it looking like? What are you actually doing? I mean, I know that you were in school at one point this week, which didn't make sense because it's actually half term, Martin. Did anyone not tell you it's half term?
No. Yeah, I have been told that, yeah. So yeah, I was in school on the Tuesday of half term week. And it's our little role we can play in supervising those key worker children and those more vulnerable children so that A, people can go to work, or B, those children that will really find it harder for a variety of factors can have some, like we say, in some sense of normality and actually some company. Actually, I spent most of the day with one lad who just talked all day.
Really?
And he said he loved it, so that's fine. But yeah, teaching when it's not half term, we're trying to do lots of remote learning. Using Microsoft Teams, which I'd never heard of until this all started. There's probably loads of people watching this who've never heard of Zoom. And all that kind of thing. So yeah, trying to deliver lessons, and then we're kind of facilitating a chat room facility, where we've set the work, and then we're available should they have any questions and want to talk things through and all that.
Right.
So that's what we're trying to do, and I actually quite like how we're doing it.
Right.
But it doesn't replicate the real thing.
No. Do you think teaching is going to completely go back to the real thing that it was before, or do you think this time is going to inform and change how we do teaching in the future? Particularly, I think, for secondary. I think a lot of what's gone on might be able to be transferred afterwards. I don't know. What do you think?
I think there'll be some elements where people might have found online tools that are like, oh, I could continue to use that, like either for homework or things like that. But actually, I think for loads of teachers, what it's amplified is it's built on being face-to-face with young people, building relationships. And so I think it will take time, because by the time I see some of my students, I won't have seen them for 6 months, I reckon, if they don't come back till September.
Yeah.
So we think well enough that you have the 6 week holiday and they come back and they've shut up. Like, they're going to be different people in 6 months.
Yeah.
I hope. I've always valued my job and I love it, and I really hope the children actually realise that from what we've done, and we miss them. Like, that is the thing. I actually miss seeing them. Don't know whether they all would believe that, but I do.
Yeah, that's great to hear. And, you know, just to know how hard you're working and what you're doing now. I think there's a myth that teachers aren't working at the moment, but I think for many teachers it's harder and is kind of calling on different skill sets as well. How do you think kids generally are dealing with what's going on? Again, I deal with little children. You're dealing with teenagers. How are they coping with it?
Yeah, because I think it's so varied, isn't it? And it depends on so many factors. But I think there's those that love their home life, have siblings, and that it's okay because they've got people to do stuff with. Maybe only children's a bit harder.
Yeah.
Loads will just be missing their mates. And I think that will be the hard thing, that as they start to go back to school and we still have social distancing, it's going to be bizarre. And I actually think lots of them will find it hard being amongst big groups of people again. Yeah. Like those with anxiety issues especially could just exacerbate. So we've got to be really careful watching mental health, as we kind of do anyway, but I think it's going to be even more so. But you can see lots of them that are really determined and motivated themselves to keep learning. And I've seen some amazing work, like some amazing stuff that I'm blown away by that they've taken the time to do. But also you can see those that have struggled because they need you on their shoulder to help them.
Yeah, interesting times. And I think we won't, however we go back, it won't be just immediately back to how it was, like you're saying, with social distancing. It's going to be this whole gradual return to what was normal. It's a minefield, isn't it? I think going back will be harder than when we stopped meeting in schools like we were. Very difficult.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's your role as a teacher, but you made reference earlier to the fact that within our church at the Forge, you're an elder. In fact, you used to, when I first knew you, used to do my job that I'm doing now, location leader at Debenham, didn't you?
That is true.
Did you leave because they were all so nasty to you on the staff team, those lads?
Yeah, I haven't got as much resilience as you have to keep going, so that's why I left. Yeah, that is the truth. I couldn't hack it every single Sunday, and every time there was an online thing. Let's say something about Helen.
Yeah, it's relentless.
Yeah, I've never prayed for you so much.
Thank you. So an elder. For people that don't know, what does that mean? What is that role within our church? It's an unpaid role, isn't it? You do it voluntarily, and there's a group of you. What is your role? What do you do?
So our role is essentially to lead the church in the way that we think. And when I say we, that's not just the elders, but we as the church believe that God wants us to lead it. So when we talk about our mission and our vision, helping people find and follow Jesus, we're that group that tries to make sure, are we pushing that enough? And are we holding things, not necessarily people, because you as staff team are, you report to Steve as senior leader and others as well, but to make sure that that's what we're being. And that involves, good stewardship of our resources and finances. Not necessarily that we manage the financial situation, but that we oversee, are we spending it in the right ways that help us live out our mission and vision? Praying into things, like that's hugely important, because eldership is a real biblical principle. There's loads of stuff in various parts of the Bible where you can read about it. So if you're familiar with the Bible, people can read the letters to Timothy. There's lots in there. It's meant to be so that we're in tune with God, basically.
Great. And how long have you been doing it now?
So I actually did it, how long have I been? Probably about 18 months. So since I stepped back from the role that you mentioned, I've been doing it again 18 months. And I also did it for a couple of years before I was location leader.
Okay.
So,
and is it a role that in any way has changed with coronavirus and what's going on at the minute? Do you see it changing at all, or has that impacted it? Are there new challenges for you guys as elders?
Yeah, I think so, because it's involved some discussions around like staffing issues and who can do what can we do as a church. Although I just think, to be honest, the staff team, like obviously yourself included, have stepped up amazingly. I think everybody sees Ben on a Sunday and he's done just the most amazing job, but everybody has.
Do you know that I taught him everything he knows, don't you? All that tech
you
stuff.
You wouldn't believe that from how he talks to you.
I've taught him everything he knows.
I assumed that, but I didn't want to say it out loud. But yeah, so it has changed because there's different things to think about that we've never done before.
Yeah.
as the same for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's also made our meetings much more focused, because on Zoom you can't get distracted by it. Well, you can, but it's easy, it's harder.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think that about a lot of things, that actually I won't do things the same after this, because I'm finding new ways of doing things, sometimes more efficient, focused ways of doing things. Yeah. So maybe your role as an elder, and even now, is a bit different, the way you're doing things. What do you think about church? Do you think, and it must be something that you guys are talking about, and I know as staff we've had some conversations with you guys, you know, are we looking at church going back to what it was, do you think, or do you think it's going to be completely different, a mix of both? What's your thoughts at the minute?
Yeah, my personal thoughts are that there will be some kind of mix, because lots of people will miss that physical, personable interaction, you know, on whatever day of the week it might be they attend church. But I think lots of things like this kind of thing, like making church, you know, all churches have said it ever since the dawn of time, we are not just a thing that happens on a Sunday. Most of them are. But actually putting content out and engaging with people midweek, I think that will be a thing that we have to learn.
Yeah.
And when I say we, I mean the church in general, not just the Forge. Yeah, it's fascinating. So my teaching job, I teach religious education. So this from that kind of perspective is also really interesting as well.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I think it's exciting and a thing to embrace. And I love that Steve was really early on saying, let's get the staff and elders together. What does this look like post-COVID, whenever that might be?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'd love to know what different people think. Yeah,
I think the fact that we're just reaching so many more people, I think, and I think what we're doing, particularly on a Sunday, but the midweek content as well, is so easy just to share. I think that's so exciting that we're just tapping into so many people's lives, and people are engaging with us in a new way that we can't possibly stop that again, can we? We've got to find ways of continuing to do that.
And you're right, because some people find inviting hard, don't they? But to hit a share button should be really easy.
Absolutely, yeah.
And when I hit that share button, I do so to something I'm proud to share as well. It's not just, I should do because I'm an elder, or I should do because people will be watching. Actually, like, no, this is, and I know it's probably a wrong thing to be proud, but I feel we're representing Jesus well. Yeah, I agree. And you said just now that you're interested in knowing what other people think is like the way we move forward after this. So is that a conversation that you'd welcome if people want to chat to you or any of the other elders? Is that an okay thing for people to do? Oh, massively, yeah. Like, just to get hold of us however they do, like via social media and all that kind of, it's just interesting. I think we're not doing a very good job as leaders if we're not listening.
Absolutely.
Because if we don't listen, people will stop talking. So talk to us. Yeah,
great. It's been really great to talk to you. I'd just kind of close by asking, so I know you guys as elders pray for us, pray for the church, pray for the way forward, pray for us as staff, which is amazing. If there was just perhaps one thing that we would encourage folk that do pray to pray about right now, what would you say folk should be praying?
That what decisions we make and the conversations we have are fully focused on what God would want and not our own personal agendas. I think we work really well as a team, and we're doing a thing at the minute where we're assessing how effective we are as a group. And this doesn't mean we're perfect at all. But to make sure that what we do discuss is of God.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks, Martin. It's been really great to chat to you. We really appreciate all you do in your role as an elder and on that team as well. But thanks for your time. Really good to talk to you. Have a great rest of the day. See ya.
And you enjoyed it a lot. Cheers.
Bye.